stop, to the top, to the top. Ain't never gonna stop, never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Destiny is calling me, go down in history. Every day I fight to be legendary. Fly high, or will I fall? Legends made when faith is strong. smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock. They talk to me. You got your rules in your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices crying, I see heroes dying.
Hello and welcome to a unique edition of the WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Reese Rock Jones and
Sean Randy Smith, and let us explain why it's going to be rather unique.
yes, this is a time of year where we would normally come to you with the Hall of Fame induction ceremony
NXT TakeOver Tampa
and Wrestlemania. However, due to a little outbreak called the coronavirus,
or COVID-19 as its proper name,
that has now been sent into absolute shambles.
So,
The Hall
what
of
are we going to call this?
The Hall of Fame and NXT TakeOver have been cancelled.
Yes, they have.
Unless WrestleMania, which was slated to take place on April 5th from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, has been moved to the Performance Center, where there will be no crowd. And on top of that, WrestleMania will also take place over 2 nights.
For the first time since the 80s.
For the first time ever, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. WrestleMania will come at us on Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th across multiple locations.
And the tagline is too big for just one night.
In another unique twist, WrestleMania itself was taped on the 25th and 26th of March.
Well, it's scheduled to air this weekend.
So this will be the first WrestleMania to take place over 2 nights and to be pre-recorded.
So, in some parts of the world, you may already know who has won these matches. That's what we put in the description. Spoiler alert.
We've also put a spoiler warning in because some of the matches which are advertised have had to be tweaked at the last minute, and we will say what those tweaks are.
But some of the matches that we're going to say have not been tweaked whatsoever.
So let's get started with the 2 matches that were made as a result of the Royal Rumble match.
We will start with the match for the NXT Women's Championship as Rhea Ripley of NXT takes on Charlotte Flair for Rhea Ripley's NXT Women's title.
Yes, Charlotte Flair would win the Women's Royal Rumble match and earn the right to challenge any champion at WrestleMania. However, it was really Rhea Ripley who made the challenge here.
Which makes a change rather from the way it's normally done.
Yes, and this will be the first time that Charlotte has challenged for the NXT Women's Championship since losing the championship to Sasha Banks about 5 years ago.
How time flies, hey?
Next, it is the Scottish Psychopath, the winner of the men's Royal Rumble match, challenging the Beast, the man he actually eliminated from the Royal Rumble match, the WWE Champion, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, God. As we said, it all started at the Royal Rumble.
Yes, the Royal Rumble was the first half. Eat, sleep, eliminate, repeat.
But now what's going to be the second part?
Following a low blow from Ricochet and a Claymore over the top, Lesnar would be eliminated. McIntyre would go on to win. And when these two have come face to face in front of a live audience on Monday Night Raw, that'll be nice to see one again.
Oh, it will be.
It's McIntyre who has had the better of Lesnar, delivering multiple Claymores.
Yes, and all it takes is, 3 Claymores to get to Claymore Country.
And all it takes is 3 to get to Suplex City.
But now we're going to a match that has been, slightly tweaked.
Yes. Following his squash, from want of a better word, over the Fiend at Super Showdown, Goldberg was scheduled to defend the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. However, due to the outbreak of the coronavirus, and
due to another individual who we'll mention later in the show,
yes, and the fact that he has a weakened immune system due to his 2 battles with leukemia, Roman Reigns has pulled out of this match and will be replaced by former Intercontinental Champion, the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman. Good luck, Goldberg, I say. Good luck.
Yes, but you really want to keep a title on this man?
After what happened at Corona Showdown? No.
Now, the next match came about starting at Survivor Series following the Champion vs. Champion vs. Champion triple threat match they did on the women's side.
Yes.
When Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch would attack the then NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
However, this match was not made official until what we will nickname the Squash Chamber.
Pretty much.
When Shayna Baszler eliminated every competitor in the Elimination Chamber match.
Pretty much any competitor that Shayna found, she squashed.
Next, we have a rematch of sorts from WrestleMania 30.
As John Cena takes on the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, in a very unusually named Firefly Funhouse match.
Yes, this match is said to have a cinematic feel to it and is being shot off-site. This is possibly going to be another attempt of the compound style match
that we've seen in the past.
But Bray Wyatt is also stating John Cena's loss of WrestleMania 30, or the loss to John Cena, is what fueled the character that would eventually become The Fiend.
Yes.
And after losing to Goldberg, I am telling WWE, you cannot afford to have Wyatt lose this match as well.
Otherwise, there'll be upheaval among the WWE Universe.
Well, at home there might be. There won't be, because there won't be anyone there.
True. I wouldn't be too surprised if John Cena wins this match and we see a lot of hashtags cancel WWE Network trending again.
Next we have a fatal 5-way elimination match for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
The competitors are
Bayley is defending against Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. Now,
originally, Dana Brooke was going to be in this match, but...
Yes, this was originally scheduled as a 6-pack challenge, but Dana Brooke was pulled out. Now, they could, even though they're advertising a fatal 5-way elimination match, they could have added another woman into it to make it back into a 6-pack, but that's possibly doubtful.
Possibly, yeah, I agree.
The two favourites to win this match, I would say, are either Bayley or Sasha Banks.
Yes,
but
I agree.
But I think this will be used, well, the plan is for this to be used to eventually build up to the Sasha Banks Bayley one-on-one feud that we have been looking for.
Correct, absolutely right.
Next.
I would like to see that.
Next, we all invite you to the Boneyard.
Yes, you heard us right, a Boneyard match.
When Mark Calloway, aka The Undertaker,
Gong.
challenges Alan Jones, aka AJ Styles.
The phenomenal one.
This all started back at Super Showdown when The Undertaker showed up in the gauntlet match that they were doing for the trophy back over there. Then Undertaker also got involved in Styles' business with Aleister Black at Elimination Chamber.
Did he ever?
By helping him win that match. Now,
Yes.
the rules of a Boneyard match, from what I can gather, it's almost a mixture of a street fight and a buried alive match.
So basically,
Well,
it's a combination of the two.
Don't take my word on that, because that's the impression I'm getting.
Yeah, same here. But next
Next,
is a match.
it's a match between two people who have been at each other's throats over the past few months, and quite possibly the two most successful and biggest names to come out of NXT.
In Kevin Owens, and he will take on, he's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy.
Seth
in
Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
Well, at the minute, he's the Monday Night Messiah of nothing, considering that Murphy apparently is in quarantine, apparently.
And one of the AOP is injured.
Yes. Now, this next match is another match which is tweaked.
Yes, because it says on here, at the moment, the Miz and Morrison putting their SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line against the New Day of Big E and Kofi Kingston, and against the Usos in a triple threat ladder match.
However, I believe that due to the Miz showing up with a cold, which also, by the way, led to Roman Reigns pulling out of his match,
As we mentioned earlier.
that match has now been tweaked to what I believe is a one-on-one ladder match with one member of the Usos taking on John Morrison.
Yes, it's a bit of a weird way of doing it, but I mean, that's the way they've been forced to do it, so...
So then, whether that's going to be counted as a tag team championship match, we don't know.
We'll have to find out this weekend.
Then,
Our next match.
our next match is another tweaked match, and a match that kind of came out of nowhere as well.
Yeah, as the Street Profits were meant to defend their Raw Tag Team titles against Andrade and Angel Garza.
Yes, except that is now Angel Garza and Austin Fury. Fury, but not Fury.
taking Andrade's place after Andrade was sidelined with an injury.
Yeah, and we say those words very loosely.
Injury.
If it had been Andrade and Gaza, I could possibly, as you stressed, would possibly have seen them win the match because that pairing seems to be a fairly popular one.
Yes, I would agree with that as well.
Now, in a completing that just makes absolutely no sense. Aleister Black takes on Bobby Lashley.
At the moment, it's something like that, but there's been rumours regarding Bobby Lashley being in quarantine with the COVID-19.
On the SmackDown side of things, Elias will take on King Corbin.
In a very Lion King-esque moment that happened on last week's SmackDown.
Well, when a certain brother kills the other brother.
Yeah, that's what people were saying about it.
I can see that.
But, oh boy, I think I better start running for this next match.
Yes, as we go all the way back to the Royal Rumble match, the number 21 entrant saw the return of Edge for the first time since WrestleMania 27.
And he was spearing people left, right, and centre.
Yes, when the camera decided to actually show it.
This time, which I have edited, by the way.
Then we go to the next night on Raw, when Orton comes out and talks firstly about reforming later RKO.
Only for me to give Edge an RKO out of nowhere.
And then the concerto.
To the already surgically repaired neck of the Radar Superstar.
So over the next few weeks we would have Matt Hardy, who is now buggered off to a company that must not be named.
Yeah.
Confront Orton. Then we had Beth Phoenix return to give an update.
But then she would receive an RKO as well.
Then we would have the MVP come out on Raw and want to manage Edge in some kind of stable. Then he would make the ultimate mistake of asking Edge, "How's your wife?" and he would eat a spear. This would be when Orton would slither in and attempt an attack, only for him to be on the receiving end of an RKO.
Yes, and then before Edge could put me in a concerto, he then gave MVP a concerto, giving me a preview of my future.
And then we would have the challenge made for a last man standing match.
Yes, and I accepted it a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw.
Now we go to at Elimination Chamber with a bit of help from Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn would win the Intercontinental Championship.
In what was a very, very shocking moment.
Also, Daniel Bryan would be defeating Drew Gulak.
Who is now his new tag team partner and new ally.
Not for long.
No, I don't
But
think so.
they have temporarily formed an alliance, and after defeating, was it Cesaro or Shinsuke?
I think it was
Shinsuke on an empty arena episode of SmackDown. Drew Gulak was able to gain an Intercontinental Championship match for Daniel Bryan. And funnily enough, 5 years ago, the Intercontinental Championship was the last title that Daniel Bryan won at WrestleMania before being forced to retire.
Yes, so hopefully now Daniel Bryan will be gunning for Intercontinental Championship number 2.
Yes, before going into complete lockdown, which seems to be the case.
Yes, now this next match will be for the Women's Tag Team Championships.
Yes.
As the Kabuki Warriors take on the Twisted Sisters
of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Now,
yes,
I say here that the titles go back to Bliss and Cross.
Yes, because we've heard all sorts. We first heard that Asuka had been pulled from WrestleMania, but then only to hear that she was pulled back in.
Yeah, we heard that Asuka had been pulled out of WrestleMania. And I think maybe they were doing that because they weren't 100% sure on what Kylie Shane's situation was going to be because she was off getting married
in Japan. So many congratulations to Kylie Shane for that achievement.
But however, Dave Meltzer, a very reliable source on things, is reporting that they were able to go through with this match.
Good. Credit Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer.
And now we go to the love triangle
between Otis and Dolph Ziggler over the affections of Mandy Rose.
This whole thing dates back to Valentine's Day,
where Dolph Ziggler hijacked Otis' date on Valentine's Day in what was one of the most heartbreaking segments in SmackDown history.
And then, ever since then, Dolph Ziggler's kind of been making fun of Otis. I would like to think that they're setting up a sort of face turn for Mandy Rose and a real romantic, or as romantic looking as it can be, moment of Otis and Mandy. Of course, that would look better if there had been like 80,000 people in the stadium watching.
But unfortunately, there won't be any people in attendance, only essential personnel.
So, let's run through these 16, yes, you heard me right, 16 matches one more time.
Starting with
Rhea Ripley defends the NXT Women's Championship against Royal Rumble match winner Charlotte Flair.
Drew McIntyre will challenge Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship.
Goldberg will defend the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman, who replaces Roman Reigns.
Shayna Baszler will challenge the Man, Becky Lynch, for the Raw Women's Championship.
John Cena takes on The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, in a Firefly Funhouse match.
Bayley will defend her SmackDown Women's Championship in a fatal 5-way elimination match against the Sassy Southern Belle Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina.
The Undertaker will take on AJ Styles in a Boneyard match.
Kevin Owens takes on the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins.
In a change from the scheduled match, John Morrison will take on one member of the Usos in a ladder match.
The Street Profits will defend their Raw Tag Team Championships against the team of Austin Theory and Angel Garza.
That being changed from Andrade and Angel Garza.
Yes.
Supposedly, Aleister Black will take on Bobby Lashley.
Elias will take on King Corbin.
Edge will take on Randy Orton in a last man standing match.
Sami Zayn will defend his Intercontinental Championship against Daniel Bryan.
The Kabuki Warriors will defend the Women's Tag Team Championships against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
And finally, Otis will take on Dolph Ziggler.
And that is the card for WrestleMania, having been taped last week, only to be aired this weekend. Originally scheduled to take place at the Raymond James Stadium, but forced to move to the Performance Center where there will be no one in attendance.
Only essential personnel.
On paper, it has some makings of a decent to good WrestleMania match-wise. It's just the same that people like Drew McIntyre, who are probably planned to win their first championships, have to suffer.
Yes,
But
it's going to be a very weird WrestleMania.
in any event, hopefully by the time we get to March next year for WrestleMania 37, things will be back to normal.
When WrestleMania will go Hollywood.
Join us next week where we shall bring you our reactions to Bizarre Mania.
So until then, he's been
Lisa Lark Jones and he's been
Sean Randy Smith, and we will stay home and watch WrestleMania.